Japan, a land where ancient traditions meet futuristic innovation, offers an extraordinary blend of natural beauty, cultural richness, and architectural wonders. From the soaring Tokyo skytree to the serene shores of the inland sea, this country is a gateway to stunning landscapes, diverse ecosystems, and deep-rooted heritage. As we journey through Japan's most incredible hidden treasures, we'll explore ancient forests, historic villages, and artistic islands that showcase the nation's vibrant identity. We'll uncover the stories behind sacred mountains, volcanic wonders, and cultural sanctuaries that make this destination truly unforgettable. But before we dive into these wonders, let's begin with some fascinating facts about this beautiful country. In Japan, companies can purchase specialized cherry blossom insurance to protect their hanami, flower viewing parties, from unfortunate timing. The sakura blooming season is notoriously brief and unpredictable, lasting just 7 to 10 days as the blooming wave travels northward from late March through early May. When a company plans a corporate hanami party weeks in advance, this insurance compensates them if the blossoms bloom too early or too late for their scheduled event. Meteorologists track the cherry blossom front with precision, comparable to weather forecasting, issuing detailed bloom predictions that appear on national news broadcasts, allowing the entire nation to plan their springtime celebrations accordingly. Japan's Sampuru sample food industry produces astonishingly realistic plastic food replicas worth over $90 million annually. Dating back to the 1920s, these handcrafted artworks help restaurants showcase their menus to foreign tourists and locals alike. Master craftsmen in areas like Tokyo's Kappabashi district create each piece individually, pouring colored wax or silicone into molds, then hand-painting details with extraordinary precision. A high-quality replica sushi set can cost more than an actual sushi dinner. Modern Sampuru artisans have expanded beyond restaurant displays, creating food-shaped jewelry, smartphone cases, and even USB drives, transforming this practical tradition into a celebrated art form. Japan's medical system officially recognizes Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, as a legitimate form of preventive healthcare. Developed in the 1980s, this practice involves mindfully spending time among trees to improve physical and mental well-being. Scientific studies show that phytoncides, antimicrobial compounds released by trees, boost human immune function, reduce blood pressure, and lower stress hormone levels. Japan maintains 62 designated therapeutic forests with trained forest therapy guides, and some doctors prescribe forest bathing alongside conventional treatments. Insurance companies often cover forest therapy sessions, acknowledging the cost-effectiveness of this natural approach to preventing lifestyle diseases in Japan's aging population. Yakushima. Off the southern coast of Kyushu floats Yakushima, an island where time seems to stand still. Here, ancient cedar trees have witnessed thousands of years of history, their massive trunks wrapped in emerald moss, branches reaching toward the heavens. The star of this mystical forest is Jomon-sugi, potentially the oldest tree in Japan. Scientists debate its actual age. Some claim it's 2,000 years old. Others argue it could be up to 7,200 years. This living being might have been a sapling when humans were just figuring out agriculture. Walking these forest paths feels like entering another realm. Sunlight filters through the canopy in misty beams, creating what locals call komorebi, the dance of light and leaves. No wonder Hayao Miyazaki found his inspiration for Princess Mononoke here. The forest spirits, or kodama, don't seem so far-fetched when you're surrounded by these giants. The island's indigenous people have long believed that kami, spirits, dwell in these ancient trees. When you stand before one of these towering cedars, feeling small against its massive trunk, that belief makes perfect sense. The moss-covered forest floor feels like a carpet under your feet, springy and alive. Monkeys chatter in the distance. Deer watch cautiously from behind massive roots. The air smells of earth and cedar, pure, untouched wilderness. Naoshima. In the 1980s, Naoshima was just another declining fishing village in the Seto Inland Sea, losing its youth to bigger cities. Today, it's an international art destination that turns conventional museums inside out. The island's transformation began when Japanese billionaire Soichiro Fukutake decided to create something unprecedented, a place where art, architecture, and landscape exist in perfect harmony. Now, Naoshima hosts works by some of the biggest names in contemporary art. You've probably seen photos of Yayoi Kusama's iconic yellow pumpkin sculpture sitting on a pier, its polka-dotted surface contrasting with the blue sea behind it. Before Instagram made it famous, this pumpkin quietly greeted ferry arrivals for years, becoming the unofficial symbol of the island. The Chichu Art Museum, designed by architect Tadao Ando, is built mostly underground to preserve the island's natural beauty. Inside, natural light changes how you see massive works by Claude Monet, James Turrell, and Walter de Maria throughout the day. In the village of Honmura, the Art House project has transformed empty houses into permanent art installations. One abandoned house now holds a room where a single carved stone sits in the center of a dark chamber, illuminated by light streaming through a small square cut in the wall. What makes Naoshima special isn't just the art, it's how the art breathes new life into a place that was fading away. Locals who once fished now guide art tours. Old homes find new purpose. The whole island feels like one big creative experiment that somehow worked perfectly. Takaragawa Onsen. Tucked away in the mountains of Gunma Prefecture, this ryokan, traditional inn, houses one of Japan's most spectacular rotenburo, outdoor hot spring baths. Unlike the carefully manicured baths you might find in tourist areas, Takaragawa embraces the wild. 4 massive stone pools sit directly alongside a rushing mountain river. The contrast is mesmerizing, steaming turquoise waters on one side, icy mountain current on the other, separated by just a few rocks. In autumn, the mountainsides burst into fiery reds and golds, reflected perfectly in both waters. The milky blue color of the onsen comes from the rich mineral content. Locals swear these elements cure everything from skin problems to chronic pain. Whether that's true or just the placebo effect of extreme relaxation, you'll feel the tension melt away the moment you sink into the 107-degree Fahrenheit water. What makes Takaragawa particularly special is its size. These are some of Japan's largest outdoor baths, giving you room to find your own private corner even during busy seasons. The sound of the river drowns out any conversation, creating natural privacy. Takaragawa also preserves something increasingly rare in modern Japan: mixed-gender bathing culture. While this tradition has disappeared from most places, here it continues with appropriate modesty measures, simple cotton cloths called tenugui for covering. After soaking, you'll return to your traditional room for a kaiseki meal, seasonal specialties prepared with ingredients from the surrounding mountains. Mushrooms foraged that morning, fish caught in the nearby river, mountain vegetables you've never seen before. Gunkanjima, Hashima Island. 9 miles off the coast of Nagasaki floats a tiny island shaped like a battleship, hence its nickname, Gunkanjima, Battleship Island. Its proper name is Hashima, and what makes it remarkable isn't its natural beauty, but what humans built upon it. For nearly a century, this 16-acre rock was home to an underwater coal mining operation that fueled Japan's rapid industrialization. As the mine grew deeper, so did the population. By 1959, over 5,200 people lived on this speck of land, creating the highest population density on Earth. at 83,500 people per square kilometer. That's 9 times more packed than today's most crowded city. Apartment buildings rose higher and higher, concrete fortresses to withstand typhoons. Schools, bathhouses, temples, restaurants, and even a swimming pool were crammed into the tiny space. Residents lived literally on top of each other in a vertical concrete city. But when petroleum replaced coal in Japan's economy, the mine shut down in 1974. Within weeks, everyone left. Everything remained exactly as it was the day they departed. Calendars on walls, coffee cups on tables, shoes by doors. Nature began its slow reclamation of the island. For decades, Gunkanjima was forbidden territory. But since 2009, limited tours allow visitors to witness this haunting time capsule. From viewing platforms, you'll see apartment blocks with collapsed walls, revealing former living rooms now open to the elements. Rusted playground equipment sits in overgrown courtyards. Stairways lead to nowhere. In 2015, UNESCO recognized Gunkanjima as a World Heritage Site, not for its beauty, but for its significance in understanding Japan's Industrial Revolution. Koyasan. Nestled among 8 peaks in Wakayama Prefecture, Koyasan feels like a place where the barrier between our world and the spiritual realm grows thin. Founded in 816 CE by the monk Kukai, posthumously known as Kobo Daishi, this mountaintop sanctuary houses over 100 temples and one of Japan's most sacred cemeteries. The approach itself prepares you for something special. A cable car climbs the mountainside, revealing valleys shrouded in mist far below. At the top, you enter a world where time moves differently. Everything slows down. Monks in saffron robes go about daily routines that have remained unchanged for centuries. The heart of Koyasan is Okunoshima Cemetery, a silent city of the dead, stretching through an ancient cedar forest. More than 200,000 monuments line the 2-kilometer path to Kobo Daishi's mausoleum, where lanterns have burned continuously for 1,200 years. Many Japanese believe Kobo Daishi isn't dead, but remains in eternal meditation, awaiting the future Buddha. Moss covers the oldest stones, some dating back nearly a millennium. Stone Buddhas wear red bibs and caps, offerings from those praying for departed children. Corporate monuments stand alongside samurai tombs. Even a memorial for termites exterminated during building construction has its place here, reflecting the Buddhist belief in the sanctity of all life. What makes Koyasan truly special is the opportunity to stay in a shukubo, a temple lodging. You'll sleep on futons in minimalist rooms, wake before dawn for meditation with monks, and taste shojin ryori, traditional Buddhist vegetarian cuisine served on lacquered dishes. Ine no Funaya. Tucked against steep mountains on the Tango Peninsula of northern Kyoto Prefecture, Ine barely registers on most tourist maps. Yet this fishing village showcases a completely unique form of Japanese architecture found nowhere else, the Funaya, or boathouses. These wooden 2-story structures stand directly over the water, with boat garages occupying the first floor and living quarters above. Imagine parking your car in your living room. That's essentially what these fishermen do with their boats. When returning from the sea, they sail directly into their homes. Around 230 Funaya line the horseshoe-shaped bay, creating a scene that hasn't changed much in hundreds of years. The reflection of these weathered wooden structures in the calm water creates perfect symmetry on clear days. At sunset, the entire village takes on a golden glow, silhouetting the fishing boats returning home. What's remarkable about Ine isn't just its beauty, it's that this isn't a museum. Real families have lived in these houses for generations, adapting their traditional lifestyle to modern times. Inside what looks like a historic structure, you might find satellite dishes, internet connections, and all the conveniences of contemporary life. The village represents a rare harmony between human necessity and environmental respect. The design of Funaya evolved from the need to protect boats from harsh weather while maximizing limited flat land. But the result is architecture that complements rather than conquers its natural setting. Aogashima. About 200 miles south of Tokyo in the Philippine Sea sits one of Japan's most remote inhabited islands. From above, Aogashima looks like something from a fantasy novel. A double volcano with a smaller crater nestled inside the main caldera. The entire island is essentially the tip of a massive submarine volcano rising from the ocean floor. What makes this geological wonder truly remarkable? People actually live here. Around 170 residents make their home inside the larger volcanic crater, creating perhaps the world's most dramatic address. Reaching Aogashima requires commitment. First, you fly to Hachijojima Island, then catch a helicopter or ferry, when seas permit, for the final stretch. The helicopter approach provides an unforgettable view of this perfect volcanic cone rising from azure waters. Life on Aogashima moves to different rhythms than mainland Japan. Without convenience stores or shopping malls, residents rely on weekly supply deliveries. When bad weather prevents boats or helicopters from arriving, the community must be self-sufficient, a reality that has forged unusually strong bonds between neighbors. The volcano provides unique resources for daily life. Residents harness geothermal energy for cooking, creating steam kitchens called wakigama, where they slow-cook meals using the volcano's natural heat. Some homes tap directly into this geothermal energy for heating, creating near-zero carbon footprints long before sustainability became fashionable. At night, with no light pollution, the stars shine with extraordinary clarity. The Milky Way appears as a bright river across the sky. On moonless nights, the bioluminescent mushrooms that grow in the humid climate create an ethereal glow in the forests. Takachiho Gorge. Located in remote Miyazaki Prefecture, this narrow chasm cuts through solid volcanic basalt, its walls formed from perfectly hexagonal columns rising 100 meters straight up. These columns aren't just geologically fascinating, they're the result of rapid cooling of lava, creating natural geometric patterns that seem almost too perfect to be natural. Cascading down these columnar walls is the Manai waterfall, dropping 17 meters into the turquoise waters of the Gokase River below. The contrast between the dark volcanic rock and the white waterfall creates a scene straight from a traditional Japanese painting. What truly sets Takachiho apart is its significance in Japanese mythology. According to Shinto creation myths, this is where the sun goddess Amaterasu hid herself in a cave after her brother's cruelty, plunging the world into darkness. The other gods finally lured her out with music and dance, returning light to the universe. The exact cave where this supposedly happened, Amano Iwato, lies just a few miles from the gorge. The best way to experience Takachiho is from water level. Small wooden rowboats are available for rent, allowing you to paddle beneath the towering cliffs at your own pace. From this perspective, looking straight up at the geometric columns with the waterfall thundering nearby, the setting feels appropriately dramatic for divine mythology. Nearby Takachiho Shrine performs kagura, sacred dance performances that reenact the story of Amaterasu and other Shinto legends. These dances have remained largely unchanged for centuries, performed by flickering firelight just as they would have been 1,000 years ago. Hitachi Seaside Park. Hitachi Seaside Park in Ibaraki Prefecture transforms through distinct seasonal chapters, but it's the spring scene that stops visitors in their tracks. Each April, 4.5 million Nemophila flowers, known as baby blue eyes, blanket the rolling hills in a carpet of sky blue that appears to merge with the actual sky at the horizon. This 470-acre park began as a military site, then transformed into a public space that showcases Japan's mastery of large-scale seasonal plantings. Standing atop Miharashi Hill during peak bloom, the blue panorama stretches in all directions, an ocean of flowers swaying gently in the spring breeze. What makes this display remarkable isn't just its scale, but its perfect timing. Japanese gardeners have calculated exactly when to plant each Nemophila seedling so all 4.5 million bloom simultaneously during Golden Week, Japan's busiest holiday period. The precision required for such synchronized flowering represents horticultural planning on an industrial scale. The park embodies the Japanese concept of shiki ori ori, the appreciation of distinctive seasonal moments. After the blue Nemophila fades, the same hills transform with different flowers: yellow nanohana in early spring, red kokia in autumn, and millions of tulips, roses, and zinnias during their respective seasons. Rental bicycles offer the perfect way to explore the vast grounds, following paths that wind through different themed gardens. A small amusement park with a vintage 1970s Ferris wheel provides views over the floral hills and out to the Pacific Ocean beyond. Okunoshima. Okunoshima sits in the inland sea of Japan, a small island that doesn't appear on most tourist itineraries. Yet this innocuous spot holds one of the strangest juxtapositions in Japan: adorable fluffy rabbits hopping across the ruins of a World War II poison gas factory. The island's dark history began in the 1920s, when the Japanese military established a secret chemical weapons plant here, producing mustard gas and tear gas used in warfare against China. Workers weren't allowed to tell anyone what they manufactured. The island was literally erased from maps. After the war, the facilities were abandoned, and the government tried to forget this chapter of history. Then came the rabbits. The origins of the current population remain debated. Some say test rabbits were released after the war. Others believe school children released a few rabbits in the 1970s. Whatever the beginning, with no predators and plenty of tourists now bringing food, the rabbit population has exploded to hundreds. Today, these wild, but very tame, rabbits rule the island. The moment you step off the ferry, they hop toward you expectantly. They'll follow you down paths, sit in your lap if you let them, and generally act more like pets than wild animals. Photos of rabbit swarms surrounding delighted visitors have created a social media phenomenon. This cuteness exists in stark contrast to the crumbling concrete bunkers and laboratory ruins scattered across the island. A small museum documents the dark history of chemical weapons production, creating a powerful dichotomy: adorable life flourishing in a place once dedicated to creating tools of death. Shirakawa-go. Nestled in the remote Shogawa River Valley, Shirakawa-go appears to exist in another century entirely. This UNESCO World Heritage Site showcases a unique style of architecture called Gassho-zukuri, meaning hands in prayer, a reference to the steeply pitched thatched roofs that resemble monks' hands pressed together. These massive houses weren't designed for aesthetics, but survival. The region receives some of Japan's heaviest snowfall, with winter accumulations often exceeding 10 feet. The steep roofs, 60-degree angles, prevent collapse under this weight, while the thatching provides excellent insulation against both bitter cold and summer heat. What's remarkable isn't just that these houses have stood for 250-plus years, but that they're still inhabited by families continuing traditional ways of life. These aren't museum pieces, they're actual homes where people cook, sleep, and raise children beneath centuries-old beams blackened by generations of hearth fires. The interior design is equally ingenious. With limited flat land available, farmers built upward instead of outward, creating 3 to 4 levels within each house. The spacious attics beneath those massive roofs weren't wasted. They were used for silkworm cultivation, an important side income during winter months when farming was impossible. The village becomes truly magical during winter illumination events. For several nights in January and February, special lighting transforms the snow-covered settlement into something from a dream. The dark silhouettes of farmhouses against pristine snow, warm lights glowing from windows, smoke curling from chimneys. It's little wonder this has become one of Japan's most photographed winter scenes. Kamikōchi. Located in the northern Japan Alps of Nagano Prefecture, Kamikōchi isn't so much a destination as an experience, a perfect valley preserved as nature intended. The name translates roughly as "where gods descend," and standing beside the crystal-clear Azusa River with snow-capped peaks rising all around, that name makes perfect sense. What sets Kamikōchi apart from other mountain destinations is its accessibility combined with its protection. A complete vehicle ban means the valley has escaped the development that spoils many scenic areas. No private cars can enter. Access is limited to authorized buses and taxis that drop visitors at the entrance. From there, everything is experienced on foot. The valley floor stretches about 10 miles, with the iconic wooden Kappa Bridge serving as its centerpiece. From this bridge, on clear days, the perfectly symmetrical form of Mount Hotaka reflects in the turquoise waters of the Azusa River, creating one of Japan's most photographed mountain views. Ancient forests of willow, larch, and birch line the riverbanks, home to curious monkeys and shy Japanese sireo, a goat antelope only found in Japan. Marshlands host unique alpine plants and colorful wildflowers during the brief summer. The river itself, fed by snowmelt, is so clear you can count the pebbles on its bottom from the numerous wooden bridges crossing it. The Japanese have long considered this valley sacred in the tradition of Shinto mountain worship. Small shrines dot the landscape, and Mount Hotaka itself is revered as a deity. Early mountaineers like English missionary Walter Weston helped popularize this region internationally in the early 1900s, leading to its protection as part of Chubu Sangaku National Park. Tsumago-juku. During the Edo period, 1603 to 1868, Japan was connected by 5 major highways radiating out from Tokyo, then called Edo. Along these routes, post towns developed to serve travelers, especially daimyo, feudal lords, who were required to make regular journeys to the capital under the shogun's control. Tsumago-juku was the 42nd of 69 stations along the Nakasendo, the road through the central mountains, connecting Edo with Kyoto. Like most post towns, it fell into decline once modern transportation made the old highways obsolete. What makes Tsumago extraordinary is how perfectly it's been preserved. In the 1970s, residents made a remarkable decision. They enacted the Tsumago Charter with principles like, "We will not sell, rent, or destroy the old houses," and "We will live in them and preserve the traditional way of life." The result is one of Japan's most complete historical towns. No modern power lines intrude. They're all buried. No vending machines or convenience stores break the illusion. Cars are banned from the main street during daytime hours. The wooden buildings with their latticed windows and black tile roofs appear exactly as they would have to a traveler 300 years ago. Walking the town's single street, you pass former inns where samurai once stayed, merchants' houses with their distinctive latticed bay windows, and simple dwellings of common people. Small gardens peek out from behind wooden fences. Traditional water channels run alongside the road. At night, the experience becomes even more magical. Lanterns illuminate the street with a warm glow. Without the daytime tourists, you might find yourself alone on a misty evening, hearing only wooden sandals clicking on stone paths, a sound unchanged for centuries. Shōdoshima. Floating in the Seto Inland Sea, Shōdoshima defies expectations of what a Japanese island should be. Rolling hills covered with olive groves, terraced slopes planted with scattered grapevines, white-walled wineries basking in sunshine. You might think you've somehow drifted to southern Europe rather than western Japan. This Mediterranean atmosphere is no accident. In 1908, the Japanese government experimented with olive cultivation here, discovering that the island's climate and soil conditions perfectly matched those of olive-producing regions in Greece and Italy. Today, Shōdoshima produces 99% of Japan's domestic olive oil, its silvery-leafed groves creating landscapes more commonly associated with Crete than Japan. But Shōdoshima offers more than just unexpected agriculture. The island's interior features dramatic gorges with names like Kankakei and Angel Road, a natural sandbar that appears only at low tide, connecting small islands to the main one. Local legend claims couples who walk across holding hands will find their wishes granted. Beyond olives, the island maintains a 400-year tradition of soy sauce production. Small family-owned breweries still age their soy sauce in massive wooden barrels, using methods unchanged for centuries. The scent of fermenting soybeans permeates entire neighborhoods where these traditional factories operate. Shōdoshima gained literary fame through the novel 24 Eyes by Sakai Tsuboi, a touching story about a teacher and her 12 students in a small island school during the pre-war and war periods. The school building used as the film location has been preserved as a museum, attracting literary pilgrims. Teshima. For decades, Teshima represented the dark side of Japan's economic miracle. This small island in the Seto Inland Sea became an illegal dumping ground for industrial waste. By the 1980s, toxic mountains of industrial slag covered large portions of the island, poisoning soil and water while local populations dwindled. Then came one of Japan's most remarkable environmental and cultural turnarounds. After a decades-long legal battle, the cleanup began. Rather than simply remediate and abandon the island, visionaries saw potential for rebirth through art. The centerpiece of this transformation is the Teshima Art Museum, though museum hardly describes this extraordinary structure. Designed by architect Ryue Nishizawa and artist Rei Naito, it resembles a drop of water from the outside, a thin concrete shell with two oval openings to the sky, set amidst rice terraces overlooking the sea. Inside this empty concrete space, small water droplets continuously spring from the floor, merging, dividing, and moving across the slightly curved surface in ever-changing patterns. Nothing else exists in the space, just water, light, air, and concrete. The effect is hypnotic. Many visitors find themselves sitting for hours watching this simple interaction of elements, finding a meditative peace rarely experienced in traditional art spaces. Elsewhere on the island, the Les Archives du Cœur installation by Christian Boltanski allows visitors to record their heartbeats, adding to a permanent archive of this most fundamental human rhythm. The recordings play in a dimly lit room where a single light bulb pulses in sync with whatever heartbeat is currently being played. The island's revitalization extends beyond art. Young people have returned to farm abandoned rice terraces. Small cafes and guest houses have opened in previously empty houses. Fishing continues as it has for centuries, but now with a renewed appreciation for sustainable practices. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Japan's hidden treasures. We hope you've been inspired by its ancient forests, artistic islands, traditional villages, and natural wonders that exist beyond the familiar tourist trail. If you enjoyed this adventure, be sure to subscribe for more explorations of the world's most extraordinary destinations.